Hello, everyone. This is Bill Stearns, NE4RD, and I'm the co-host of the Linux in the Ham Shack podcast. You can find us over at lhspodcast.info. And today I'm going to begin our episode 3 here with restoring an ADIF file I have from my previous logger into CQR log. And since I had already sent all those contacts up to Logbook of the World and to eQSL, we're going to flag all those contacts as sent, so that way it doesn't try sending it again. And as well, we're going to go ahead and set up Logbook of the World with my backup file that I have from that as well. The first time you run Logbook of the World, it requires you to either register a certificate or have one. And the easiest way to get one from one box to another is to back up and restore. So that's what we're going to go ahead and try here. So I have CQR log launched here, and we'll just do a quick reminder of the system here. This is our Ubuntu 1704 system. So I'll just do a screen fetch here for you. And this is running 1704. It's running Ubuntu Budgie. So again, I love Budgie, so that's what I'm using. We're on an Intel Core i7 Dell laptop with 32 gigs of RAM. So nothing special has changed since we started this. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. I've already downloaded my ADIF, so we're going to go into CQR log here, and we're going to open up File, Show QSO List. So this is where you can see all your QSOs, and you can see I kind of snuck one in here. I ended up working a friend the other day on CW in the CW Ops contest. This is Mike Crownover, AD5A. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and import. We're going to go up to File, Import ADIF, and I have mine in my Downloads directory, and there it is. It is the NE4RD standard. I did export a ADIF1, but we're not going to use that. Standard ADI file. I'm going to open that up. And so it gives you here some remarks. You can put something if you want a default comment on this. Like you said, I imported this from, HRD or DXKeeper or Rumlog or one of the many other loggers. You don't really have to have that. The QTH profile, if all the contacts in the log are from one profile, go ahead and assign that now. Mine are, so, except for when I was in Florida, but I don't really care about those. Those have already been sent out. So I'm not too concerned about those having the wrong QTH profile assigned to them. I'm not really doing any awards tracking from Florida beyond DXCC possibly if I even entered that stuff in properly. But anyway, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and leave it as default my one QTH here, and we're just gonna hit the import button. And you can see it created 4,890 records. And it created an errors file. So I'm going to hit close. So you can see it brings in my most recent contacts. And obviously I do a lot of digital, so there you go. No surprise there. So we want to go ahead and update these contacts so it knows that it doesn't have to send these to Logbook of the World again. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the SQL Console here. And this is one way to do it. If you want to see your actual data, you can come in here and it grabs the actual screen. So like this is a view, and this is the name of the view that it actually runs to do all the QSOs, or to do the query. And you got a lot of information in here. But basically what I'm looking for is my Logbook of the World QSO. Oh, look at that. It already flagged yes on those. So let's see here. I just want to click out here. This is the Logbook of the World QSLs have been sent. This is all flagged yes. So sometimes if you bring in a log that doesn't have that column, it will say no there, and you'll need to update it. And I don't see the eQSL one. Yep, so eQSL is here as well. And it's sent automatically eQSL because I had set this up with before I had made that contact with AD5A. So that's already sent. So this is great. So this means a lot of stuff you don't have to update. But basically, if you needed to update this, you can actually update, I believe, in this view, this column. So you would actually go in and so you can come in and just look at that column alone. And then you can actually you can just do an update. CQR log main set logbook of the world QSLs equals Y, and get rid of all that. And that will go ahead and flag everything in the entire database as sent to logbook of the world. So you don't have to do that again. And the same, you could send it for the eQSL if you didn't want to redo all that. I have had problems with that in the past of sending duplicate records. So it's important that you maintain the state of your log, especially when you're switching logging programs. I can't express the importance of that enough. So yeah, you could set the eQSL sent field to Y as well, and that will help prevent any kind of log collisions later on. So since ours is already set, I don't have to do that. But what we do have to do is set up Logbook of the World properly. So we're going to go into the Trusted QSL program. And I have run this once, so you won't get the same messages I will. So where are we at here? Trusted QSL, trusted QSL. There we go. So like here, you'll see this error right here. You have no call sign certificate installed on your computer. Would you like to request a call sign certificate now? If you have a backup file, you do not need to do that. So go ahead and hit no. And it might complain about an update available. Since ours is through the repo, you can't really do it that way. So don't. If you have to get the latest version, I'll go ahead and show you how to find the latest TQSL PPA. But for right now, anything above, I believe, 2.3, which this one is, does report fine to Logbook of the World. You do want to make sure that you get the updates. And there's a file update here, but there's also a configuration update, which will automatically pop up every time you run it to make sure that you have like the latest settings. Like they just recently added FT8 as a mode and stuff like that, so that becomes a valid mode to send to Logbook of the World. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and restore. So this is the backup and then restore. This is my restore here. I'm going to restore my configuration that I had on my other computer. And it's right here. So I'm going to open it up. So what it does is it restores my call sign certificate, my station locations, my preferences, and everything else, all in one fell swoop. So we can see that I have my my station location set up as my home QTH, which is kind of like why I set my logger up to be the same way. Yeah, so basically it's a very simple situation. If you do a backup, that's the way to do it. So same thing, if you wanted to back up the station log, you can go ahead and back it up. And then you could transfer it between computers. So now that that's set up, let's just exit that out. And since I want to send this one contact here with 85A in it, I can go ahead and find my little button that says upload data to Logbook of the World. I'm going to do that. Now, this command line here, I've already altered. Inside of this quotes here is where you want that QTH. So the location you're actually going to be sending. So this would be helpful. Let's say you activate mountaintops or sodas or iotas, or you're activating in another state. You would create a new location inside of Logbook of the World to track those contacts, so people could confirm a specific grid square or a specific iota and what have you. So you'll need to change that when you're doing specific updates, specific uploads, and stuff like that. So like right now, I'm just doing my random setup will be anything that I've worked from the house here. So everything is set up. So I only want to export QSOs which have never been uploaded. And that's all I really have to do for the export. And Logbook of the World, export and sign is the button. If you have a password on your certificate, it's going to prompt you for it. Okay, and apparently I do have some old stuff in here, so I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to take a look at my log file and see what's going on. So apparently something is not set to Y. Logbook of the World, QSL. So yeah, so I have some old ones here that probably are from my previous call sign, which it is. So what I'm going to do is fix those. So we're going to run an update statement. An update CQR log where QSOs equal nothing. And we're going to make a logbook of the world QSLs. QSLs equal yes. And our QSO date is less than, we'll just do before my contact with Mike, and we'll go and execute that. Oh, let's see here. Oh, yeah. You need to type the statement properly and the field name properly. So there we go. It went ahead and ran. And what we can do is we can take a look at that and see if so there's nothing in there. We got no records. Just selecting if there's any records that meet that criteria. And we'll go ahead and close. So the SQL console can be very destructive. You can destroy your entire log data. So before you make sweeping changes like that, you'll definitely want to back up your log. In my case, I already have it backed up because I haven't sent it anywhere. So now that I've done that, I should be able to click my upload to Logbook of the World. Type in my password. There should be one record in there. You can see that if you did not see any errors, you can send the signed file by the website by pressing the upload button. So we'll just do that. And uploading was successful. Close. So that's that. If we want to download data from SQL, from Logbook of the World, you can go ahead and do that. Return QSL records. So generally, if you've changed your call sign, like I've changed my call sign, 2009 1030, you can download data from the website, and this way you can update your log. Now, doing it like this is probably not recommended because it's a rather large log file for that time period. You should always check a more recent time period. I'd say, within the last 6 months. Generally, people do get onto Logbook of the World and confirm stuff years ago. It's not very common, but it does happen. And maybe once in a while you'll want to override that date to go backwards a little bit further. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm just going to go ahead and let it run this time and test the import for your viewing pleasure. So when it matches it up, it'll show you which ones it's confirmed. So these are the new confirmations that I've had. And as you can see, most of them are recent. But look at these back here from 2013, 2012. So it is possible that people will be confirming you from, a great distance in the past. I mean, 2012, this is 2017. So I mean, it's 5 years ago, just under 5 years ago. And then your error log, if you find stuff that people are trying to confirm in here, you can run this error log against stuff and your existing log and see if maybe you had the call sign incorrect or a mode or something like that. Generally, the mode will auto-correct itself. The band generally won't. The time won't, and the date won't. So yeah, you can always go through the log and find these. Sometimes these are phantoms. You never really made the contact. It's somebody else's miskeying. So you take these with a grain of salt. Like this one I probably will put in my log because I probably did do that. I'll have to check. W1AW. So so there it is. That's basically your setup to get your log in here. And once you have your logbook, you can go ahead and rebuild your statistics. And then you can see your DXCC statistics and stuff like that. I don't really play around with this too much. But there you go. You have your worked, confirmed, and based on your modes and stuff like that. No big deal there. Other statistics you can run as worked all zones. This is again was built off the same list. You have that. You have your worked all states, and you can see I have all states. Almost all of them on 40 meters. We need to grab that last one, apparently. So there you go. Yeah, so the CQR log is great. You just type in a call sign. Let's just do NE4RD. And it should automatically look up the person. So this is, I believe, Brian. I've worked him before. And if you've worked him, I worked him when he was distant. So let's do one here. So there we go. So if I look up AD5A, it brings up here in the top that I worked him before back in 2016. Looks like probably on a contest, I'm assuming, because I don't casually work CW. And then of course my most recent contact with them. So there you go. There's everything we're going to cover this time. Next time we'll go ahead and set up those digital modes to start working. So yeah, this has been Bill Stearns, NE4RD for Linux in the Ham Shack, and we'll see you next time.